How many of you knows that the governors are the problem of Nigeria? Well, I know that the president they fuck up, but think of this. Why do we need state governors when the closest government to the people is the local government? The state government is anti-development. We will keep shouting that the president is messing up when actually the problem before our very eyes are the governors. Just imagine how Nigeria will be a lot different if we hold our governors accountable. These guys are not being held accountable. They run the state like they're private enterprises. Guys, take this to the bank. The governors are worse than the mafia. Even the president is afraid to piss them off. It is as bad as that. The grassroots government is supposed to be stronger than the state government, because in real sense, it is the local government that is closest to the people, and government is all about connecting with the people. I understand most people will argue that Nigeria's local government system is designed to be dependent on the state government for funding and its operations, rather than being autonomous. That was until the panel of 7 justices of the Apex Court ruled that the 774 local government council should independently manage their funds. The verdict will enable local government to make decisions and take actions without needing approval from the state government. This means that local government can now manage their finances, collect revenues, and allocate resources without the government interference. But will that be the case? We have seen the governors coming out again to exhibit their devilish act, plotting in their nest of corruption, how they will install their incompetent puppet to become the local government chairpersons. And at the end of the month, such incompetent individuals will sign and hand over the local government funds back to these governors. All this will be done at the detriment of the poor and vulnerable among us. How long will the governors of Nigeria loot us dry? Man, how long? Immediately these men are elected these days, they use hunger and unemployment as the valuable tool of control. The government has voluntarily killed civil service, and in turn are using the money to pay loyalists in the name of government appointees. That's what almost all the governors are doing. And these appointments are given to mostly thugs, cultists, rogues in the society, because these are the very people that they can use. If you are a noble man, they will shun you. They will give these crumbs which falls from the table of corruption to these folks, and you see them going about protecting their interests, both online and offline. I was telling someone the other day that if you want to know what your political principals think about you, approach them that you want to get married to their daughters. When you approach them, then they will call you out for who you really are. And guess what? When you give these youth jobs at a temporary basis, you are setting them up for depression, because monkey we don't taste banana before will no say cucumber no sweet. It's an African saying. I will continue to say this: the governors are the problem of Nigeria. It is time section 176 of the 1999 Constitution which makes provision for the position of the governors be removed and thrown into the ocean. In fact, they have been cried that the entire 1999 Constitution should be overhauled. Law is dynamic, and that piece of paper no longer serves, and in fact has never addressed our eyes. I believe that for a change, a rational solution needs to be achieved. You see, this autonomy we have been hailing Tinubu for achieving, it is useless, because as long as we have these people called the governors, the local government can never be allowed to breathe. We all know the Independent National Electoral Commission has not been independent, it has always been plagued with corruption, bowing on the feet of the highest bidder. And in the case, the governor is the highest bidder. The governors will stop at nothing in installing loyalists in all the local government. If you are strong enough to resist this attempt, your councillors will be activated to remove you out of this chessboard. We can see that all these are medium of control. The only leader that can make a difference is a leader chosen by the people, and not a leader chosen for the people. That has been the Nigerian case. The leaders have always been chosen for the people, and not the people electing their leaders. Because if the people put you there, such a person will always do things that will be in the best interest of the people. Look around you, take a tour around the 36 states. How many leaders can we say was put by the people? I was speaking with a friend the other day. He said Nigeria is built on a faulty foundation and nothing can go right. You might believe this, but somehow I still believe we can make a difference. Let's get the governors out of the way. The council chairman of the local government should have a head who acts as the leader of all the chairpersons in the state. The state assembly should be dissolved. It is a waste of and a mess. They have no function. They only sit behind closed doors to rubber stamp whatever the criminal governors want. You see those guys at Aso Rock, they know that the problem of this country are the governors, but they can't speak up, because if they do, a second term is not guaranteed. These guys will gang up against you in their various states. So over the years, right from the Obasanjo era, it has always been like that. The men called governors have always held the president hostage. Well, I am not trying to exonerate the president for not keeping to his own part of the bargain. If a man doesn't know the cause of his sickness, he can't be treated. Let's redirect our frustration to the real problem, which are the governors. So my fellow Nigerians, don't you think it's time to wake up and realize that the problem lies not just with the presidency, but with the governors who have been holding us hostage? They have become demigods. They are so untouchable in their various states. We need to understand that the local government is supposed to be the closest to the people, but it has been rendered ineffective by the governors. They have hijacked the entire system, using it to serve their personal interests rather than the people. It is time for us to take back our power. We need to demand accountability from these governors, to ask them what they have done with the resources meant for our development and commonwealth. We need to stop electing leaders who are only interested in lining their pockets and start choosing leaders who truly care about our welfare as a people. There is a day I have always longed for, a day when the electoral process will be reformed. We need actual independent electoral commission that is transparent. We need our parties' primary to be transparent. These are the only things that will enable credible leaders to emerge. We need to strengthen our institutions to ensure that they are independent and effective. The judiciary, the legislature, and the executive must work together to ensure that the rule of law prevails. And then there's the issue of the state assembly. What is their purpose? Are they truly representing the interest of the people, or are they just rubber stamping the decisions of the governors? We need to dissolve these effective state assemblies and empower the local government councils. We need to streamline our governance structure to ensure that they serve the people, not just the interest of a few persons. The time for change is now. We can't continue to recycle the same leaders who have failed us. We need fresh ideas, new perspective, and a commitment to true democracy. So let's join hands, my fellow Nigerians, to demand accountability from our governors. Let's take back our power and build a Nigeria that works for all of us. For too long, we have been fooled into thinking that the president is the problem. Only the president is part of the problem, but not the entire problem. Once upon a time, we said the problem was with the passenger, then we felt it was a Yaradua problem, and so on and so forth. But look at us now, from frying pan to fire. But the truth is, the governors are the ones holding us back. They are the ones who have turned our state into personal fiefdom, using our resources to fund their lavish lifestyle. We have seen it time and time again how governors who promise the world during election campaigns but deliver nothing once they are in office. Like the case of a certain governor in Cross River State who promised a super highway, but guy, if you go there, you never see nothing. He gave nothing. They promised to fix our road, provide healthcare, and educate our children, but all we get are empty promises. What have we done? And what is actually worse is that these guys have created a system that perpetuates poverty and inequality. They use hunger and unemployment as a tool of control to keep the people in bondage. They appoint their loyalists to key positions regardless of competence and reward them with juicy contracts. We have been seeing it all around us, but we can't blame them alone. We, the people, have been complicit in this charade. We have allowed them to get away with it. Election after election, we have failed to hold them accountable. And we Nigerians need to wake up and stand up and demand better. We need to take our ownership of our democracy to ensure that our leaders serve us, not only themselves. The first step is to recognize the problem. As I said earlier, we need to acknowledge that our governors are the problem and our troubles. We need to organize, mobilize, and take action. We need to demand accountability, transparency, and good governance. We also need to support grassroots movement, advocacy group, and community organization working towards change. We need to engage in constructive dialogue, build coalition, and push for reform. That is the only way out. And when the time comes, we need to vote wisely. We need to choose leaders who share our vision, leaders who will prioritize our need, not just their own need. Guys, no matter what, there's no place like home. Nigeria belongs to us. Let's take back our power and build a better tomorrow. Thanks for keeping up with this amazing episode on Achudajis TV, a home of deep insight. And if you haven't hit the subscribe tab, please endeavor to do so. Have a wonderful day. Peace.